Now then, people, it's Joe, it's All Leeds TV, and it's time for another episode of Before the Whistle Blows. We've got, obviously, the usual suspects, Kaiser Soze, Oscar. we've got, of course, Danny, your quiz master. And back by popular demand, we have Hal from the Sheff United Way. We had quite a, it doesn't normally happen, but from an opposition fan, we had quite a lot of people saying they wanted Hal back. So welcome back, my friend. How are you?
It's because we're all Yorkshire, aren't we?
Yeah.
We've got to stick together.
True. Yeah. How are you feeling after the weekend, mate? We didn't manage to have a chat. I didn't want to slide into your DMs, like giving it the big end, you know. What are your thoughts?
Everyone else did.
Oh, did they?
Honestly, I've got Leeds fans, mates, who I haven't heard from for a year. They were incredibly quiet. And suddenly, people I haven't even heard of even longer than that have just been sending me messages, just the kind of rubbish message, the kind of lazy message where it just says, "Get in." What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah. What were you just before we get into the rest of the fixtures? What were your overriding feelings of last week's game?
Have you got me back on to talk about this, and then as soon as you start talking about the other fixtures, you're just going to cut me off?
No, don't mean
because I've started processing all this. I've gone through all the stages of grief. I'm over it.
Shall we leave it? Shall we leave it?
Please.
He genuinely is hurt. He genuinely can't talk about it. That's fine. We've got Martin, who's joined us as well from Man City Fan TV. How are you, fella? All right?
Yeah, not bad. Apologies about that. I had Wi-Fi issues.
Oh, don't worry about it, mate. I thought you meant you were going to say I've got wife issues then. I was going to say.
I've got a lot of them.
But yeah, if you could, guys, please smash a like on the video. Obviously, it helps it get more viewers. Share, subscribe. And if you're on Twitter, just pop over and give us a retweet. As we normally do, we're going to try and have a dance through as many of the weekend's fixtures as we can. And then we've got a nice little quiz for the guests at the end as well. All smart, aren't we? We've got a little league table with that, so we'll let the lads have a go. You'll be happy to know it's not Leeds-related stuff. It's just general football knowledge, so you get to pit your wits against previous guests. But I just wanted to start really with, I think it's the first kickoff, Chelsea Palace. Everyone who watches this knows we like to have a little dig at Lampard and Chelsea. So, of course, no matter who they're playing, we're always going to have a little chat about them. But I just want to, Oscar, thoughts, Chelsea, Palace, mate? Palace have started well?
Yeah, mate, definitely. You know what? That Everton game they just played last weekend, so unlucky you didn't get anything from that. I mean, it's that ludicrous handball, rule and that lot that's cost them. But, mate, they've started the season so well. And if they know about that game, same way they did against Scum away from home at Old Trafford, they'll do all right here, I wouldn't back against Palace getting a result. Zaha against Chilwell, and then obviously Eze against James on the other side. I think they've got a lot of joy on that side. Don't think Chelsea are strong at the back, and I just think Palace on the counter are lightning quick and a massive threat, and they keep it really tight at the back. So they've got all the things in there to really cause a shock, at Stamford Bridge,
I wouldn't even see it as a shock, mate. Chelsea are that
bad. They are terrible.
Yeah. But let's come to I guess the neutrals. Obviously, we have a little bit of a dislike for Chelsea anyway. But we'll come to Martin. What have you made of Lampard and Chelsea's start, Martin?
Well, I had them down as the champions, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they've kind of made me look stupid, which is not very hard to do, if I'm honest with you. But I've been surprised a little bit. A few people said to me, no matter how many players he's bought and the money he's spent, Lampard's the issue, not the money. And that I'm starting to think might be the case. Maybe it is Lampard. You can buy every single diamond you want, but if it's being pushed by a cart horse, it doesn't matter what happens. It isn't going to, go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Hal?
I wanted to hear where that diamond horse donkey analogy was going. I quite enjoyed that.
I know, it was quite cool, wasn't
That's good. Is it towards the diamond mine? Is it up a hill so the donkey can't manage it? I mean, I want a great deal more on that, man. Let's come back to that. Chelsea. So I think last season it was like real adversity, we can't sign anyone. That's all we've ever done. What are we going to do? Panic. Let's all come together. And they did. They gelled and they formed as a unit. And they really performed quite well, Chelsea, last season. I saw them live a couple of times, and I was pleasantly surprised by how Lampard was getting them going, particularly after we'd seen at Derby County, that he can manage. I know it's very easy, and it's quite popular at the moment to have a dig at Frank Lampard, and I'm sure you guys would enjoy that and imagine that he will get sacked at some point. I don't necessarily see it that way. I think that they will come good, and the signings he's made are quality players. So they may take a little time to gel, particularly after the nucleus, that core last season. They all got pretty cozy together and they started performing well. It's always going to be hard when you then shake the apple cart and bring in new faces. So I think that's all that's happened. It's just a little period of bedding in, and Chelsea will be absolutely fine. And I don't think it's a stupid shout at all, Martin, for them to potentially be title champions or at least challengers. I sort of saw them in or around the top 4 and still do.
This season, you would put them down as challengers?
Yes, I think it's a slow start, but hey, even the best teams can find themselves having a slow start.
Oh, I see what you did there. Clever,
I like that.
Danny, I mean, Crystal Palace, Eze, he's looked really good, hasn't he, since making that step up to Premier League football. How do you see this one going this weekend, mate?
Do you know, to follow two. I mean, I think Crystal Palace will match Chelsea because, as Hal and Martin rightly said, that they'll take like a gelling period. I mean, me and Martin were on Klaus Bansters together, and I think we shared the same views about Chelsea. But this was before a ball was kicked. Having seen that, I think because I had Man U to win against Palace, and they turned around and smashed them, didn't they? And I thought they're really good, but Eze don't look out of place to me. I said on the other show that Zaha and Eze link up is phenomenal for me. I think Eze was one of the standout players in the Championship for me. Well, up and coming, do you know what I mean? Like behind the kinds of Ben Rama and that. But I think Chelsea will slip up against these because I think they've just got the pace and the speed, and the Zaha's clinical at the minute.
Yeah, and I've looked at that. I mean, from a Chelsea perspective, they've got Palace, Southampton, Man United, and then Burnley. Frank Lampard's got to get about 9 points from that, surely 10 points. Otherwise, for me, he starts to lose games. Is Abramovich going to maybe pull the plug? I don't know. Maybe that's me wishful thinking. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think it's more me with wishful thinking. I suppose there is a bedding in process, but I've not been convinced personally with Chelsea's start. But I guess we'll wait and see. We'll move on. I'll tell you what. We'll go around for some score predictions. Actually, we'll start with you, Oscar. What's your score prediction for this one this weekend?
I'll go 2-2.
2-2. Yeah, Danny.
2-2.
Martin.
2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, and Hal.
Well, I was going to say 2-2, but I can't now. I'll go 3-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will win this game, if I'm being totally honest. I think Palace will score just because defensively Chelsea look out of sorts. But yeah, 2-1 I'll go with. Next one, because I'm going to try run through as many as we can. We've got Everton Brighton, and the reason I wanted to touch on this, I just think Everton have been absolutely unreal since the start of the season. The business that they've done in bringing Alan, of course, James Rodriguez looks different gravy, and Calvert-Lewin, rightly so, got his England call up. What's he got? Eight in 4 games, possibly, is it? If you count the
2 hat-tricks.
Yeah, two hat-tricks. Yeah, he's been on fire, and I think Brighton as well. Brighton have really surprised me. I know when they signed Ben White on a long-term deal, and they said we didn't want to sell him to someone we felt that were in the same bracket as us, and I was like, well, we're not going to be in the same bracket as you because we're not going to be fighting relegation. But now I understand why they said that, because we're both going to be comfortably top half, so now it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? But I just wanted to get your thoughts on Everton Brighton, guys. We'll come to you, Hal. Have you been excited by Everton, by the look of them?
Yeah, I like the look of them, definitely. What's some astute, cuddly Carlo signings they've made? They just look like a completely different team to the one that we saw last season. Sheffield United went to Goodison Park and beat Everton 2-0 last season. And I would now be absolutely amazed if we got 2 shots on target against Everton. Just the way that they have come together and they look so strong. Admittedly, there's still a few shaky areas. I've never been convinced of Michael Keane. Jordan Pickford is not the greatest goalkeeper in England, despite what Gareth Southgate might think. But in the other areas, they're now so strong. You don't need to tell me about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He came through the Sheffield United youth system. And in a classic bit of Blades business, was sold for, I think, 1.6 million. And I've got a feeling if he does move on, it'll be for slightly more, maybe 1.7 million now. And of course, he's going to play for England. And Leeds fans know all too well about when you bring up a youth player, a player from your own club, and then they leave. And it's so gutting. You sort of smile, but there's a tear running down your eye when you see how well they're doing, because he could have been doing that for the Blades. If there's one thing Sheffield United need, it's goals. I've started talking about my club again. I'm sorry. I actually think Brighton as well. They look like a good football side, not in that midweek game against Manchester United, but in the league game against Manchester United. I think we saw the real Brighton and Hove Albion. I like Ben White. I like Webster. I like Dunk. And I really like Tariq Lamptey. That guy is going to be a superstar, and I hope he chooses to represent England. Admittedly, England have a lot of right backs, but you can never have too much talent. So I see this one being, actually, because it's at Goodison, an Everton result, really.
It'll be a very good game. I mean, Oscar, Hal's just mentioned there, against Man United, how Man United got a result against Brighton, let alone, I know there's the whole VAR after the final whistle, but I think did Brighton hit the post crossbar like 5 times? They should have won that game, and they were great against Chelsea as well. I thought the Chelsea result sort of flattered Chelsea a little bit against Brighton. I thought Brighton were very good, which, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. It could go either way, this one. But have you been impressed by both sides, mate?
Yeah, 100%. I think they've probably been the two, other than obviously Liverpool and that lot. I think they've been the two standout teams for me in terms of watching them in that lot. I think Everton, I mean, there's just so much class about Everton at the moment. I think Alan, Doucouré as well. I think Doucouré's kind of gone under the radar as well. Really good box-to-box player. I think what's going to be a really good battle, I think Hal touched on it about Tariq Lamptey. What a battle that's going to be. Richarlison on the left playing against Lamptey, and seeing how Lamptey gets on in a battle against that, because Richarlison's different to a lot of wingers at this level. And obviously Calvert-Lewin versus Ben White. Some really good battles there, and I think Lallana tried as well for Brighton. I think you're kind of starting to see Lallana from his early Liverpool days, looking fully fit, and he's starting to stand out as a class act. And they're just two really good teams, football inside, but. And I just can't see anything other than goals in this game. I just think both teams will play on the attack. And look, Brighton, how they didn't get anything against Man United, I don't know. They should have won the game. You were saying before, how Man United even got anything from that game is beyond the joke. And then, when you've got those performances, I think it's just going to build confidence. And, I think Brighton will be okay this season. As you say, I can't see anything other than mid-table at worst for Brighton, possibly even top 10. On the basis of what they've done so far, and that back 4, back 5, whatever you want to call it, I think, as Hal said, is absolutely outstanding. Lamptey, White, Dunk, Webster, and it's going to keep clean sheets this season. You just know it's going to keep clean sheets. But I think the question mark in Everton is still defensively, as Hal was saying. I think Michael Keane, Mason Holgate, Yerry Mina, there's not really 2 out of those kind of 3 that you say will really form a solid enough centre-back partnership for Everton to seriously kick on. But as a couple of people have been saying in the comments, if Everton carry on like this and Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham continue to drop points, you can't ignore the conversation about Everton being top 4. When Calvert-Lewin's banging them in, James Rodriguez is just showing oozing class. He would get into any team. Other than maybe Liverpool and Man City, he'd get into any team in this country. And then Richarlison, who's outstanding as well. So I really do think the momentum's gathering for Everton.
Yeah. I think James Rodriguez has looked different. Gravy. I mean, Martin, would you go along with Oscar? Do you think Everton can get in Europe based on their early form? I know we're only 3 games in. Will they last, do you think?
No. I think they'll make top 6, 7. So I think they could get Europa, Champions League. I mean, we have someone comes on our channel called Cal, who's a big Evertonian. and he comes on saying they're going to win the league and everything else. They've got the better manager and all this other stuff. And James Rodriguez is the best player in the world, better than KDB. And listen, let them enjoy it. One thing they've done, they bought very, very well. Everton have bought very, very well. But the thing I've always had with Everton, I love Everton, love going to Goodison. It's an old-fashioned ground, proper footballing ground. That really enjoy going to. But my issue with Everton is there's always a team or two that always start off like an house on fire. And then around about January, February, they sort of starts leveling off then a little bit. You do get the odd exceptions that have amazing season, no doubt at all. But Everton are a club I like, but I think they'll get levelled off in the end because, like you said, defensively they're poor. Pickford is not a very good goalkeeper. He's got a mistake in him all the time. Yerry Mina is good for scoring off corners. I won't mind him at our place because we can't score corners. And then you got Michael Keane, and it's the back line that worries me. And when they get a proper top team running at them on form, they haven't got a chance with their back line. They haven't, and that's where I worry about them. I really do worry about them. And James Rodriguez, people say I've got an agenda against him. I haven't. I think he's a very good player. But when I'm hearing he's the best signing of all time, the best player of all time, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich don't get rid of great players. They don't do it. I've always said Everton are a little bit of a stepping stone to go off to the next part. At the moment, I wish Everton could be where they were in the 80s, winning leagues and up there. They deserve it with the fan base and everything. But right now, look at Lukaku. He was tremendous for Everton. Went to them down the road, went over to the swamp, and couldn't get a cow's arse with a banjo. He was absolutely donkey. It was like he was wearing Timberlands every single week, as my Man United fans used to say. So let's calm down and not think, James Rodriguez is the next god and the next welcomer of everything. Because again, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich don't get rid of players like that if they're that good.
Cool, Martin. Love that. I think James Rodriguez has looked different gravy though since the start of the season. He has looked really good. Whether or not he can be consistent throughout the season, I guess we'll wait and see. But yeah, Danny, I'll come to you. Do you think Chelsea look at Lamptey and think they've maybe missed out on one, getting rid of him and selling him to Brighton?
Probably, because I highly rate Lamptey. I think he's quality. I hope he does play for England, and I think Brighton could even cash in on him because I know that Bayern Munich have been inquiring about him this week or over the weekend or whatever they are. They won't get rid of him, but he's a future star for me. It's Lamptey, and I think Brighton will give Everton a good game because Everton have got some injuries. Andrea Gomez won't be playing. Allen's injured. Moise Keane's not there. Richarlison's a doubt as well because from the cup. So it's a different game now. You've lost them. You've still got Decore and stuff, but. I didn't know
Allen was out. Is that right? Is it, Danny? Is Allen out?
Yeah. Well, I saw something earlier said that Allen was injured from the cup. Whether that's true or not, now whether he's changed, whether he's fit again, I don't know. But from last I heard that Allen were out. Andrea Gomez, Moise Keane, Holgate. You got Pickford in net, who's not, no biscuit wrists at the minute. Do you know what I mean? I think Brighton will take it to them, and they played great against Chelsea. Played great against Man U. They should have won that game. The amount of times that they would work.
Yeah.
It was unreal. It was unreal.
Yeah, I read something. I think it was the most a crossbar post had been hit in a game since Opta had started recording these stats. Apparently, I think so. I know didn't Trossard get crossbar left and right post? I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but I know it was crazy how they got results beyond me. But we'll go for some score predictions. Oscar.
I think after what Danny said, I need to have a look at my fantasy football team by the sounds of things. I need to have a look at that. I'll still go Everton to win. I'll go 3-2 Everton.
Nice. Danny?
2-1 Brighton.
Hal?
Oh, I can see Brighton being like the Atlanta Falcons of the Premier League. By that, I mean, I think they'll play really well.
It's gone straight over my head. What's that? Baseball?
The Falcons are basically have the lead in a lot of games and they blow it right at the end. Okay,
right,
so that's what's happening there. I think that's what will happen in this game. So, I think 3-2 Everton. I think it'll be one of the goaliest games of the day. And you were trying to think of a stat, Joe. I think one of the ones I heard was that the crossbar and post made as many saves as David De Gea has this season.
Love it.
Which is not a joke, it's actually a stat.
Yeah, class. I love that. And what about you, Martin?
I'm going 2-1 Brighton. Because I love the way Graham Potter's got them playing football. And I love Brighton. I didn't get to say anything about Brighton, but I love him. And I've always said Lewis Dunk should come to us. But because he's not called Dunkinho, simple fact, he's a boring English centre-back that will not get a big move because of his name.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think there'll be goals. I think it'll be 2-2. I think Brighton might get a result away at Everton. 2-2 though. But, Hal's just touched on goals, and I'm going to come to him first with this fixture being a neutral of sorts. I think this one, for me, it's the biggest game of the weekend. It's the one everyone's looking most forward to. And I think there'll be absolutely hatfuls in this. It's Leeds United City. Such a big game. I want to come to you, Hal, first of all, and just get your thoughts being a neutral of sorts. I'm sorry you're going to have to speak a little bit more about Leeds United, but what are your thoughts ahead of this one? Be nice.
Well, I mean, Leeds ruined my day last weekend. My 5-year-old nephew is the first game that just me and him watched together. I'm trying to make him be a Blade. I think you should all feel quite bad about yourselves and your actions.
Is he a Leeds fan now?
Because it's worse, mate. His dad supports Man United. So he was going to decide who to support based on that game. And if Sheff United won, he was going to be a Blade. And if not, he was going to follow his dad. So in a way, long term, you've done a lot of damage. Yeah. I hope you and Patrick Bamford are sorry. And I hope you take a long, hard look at yourselves in the mirror, because that ruined my entire weekend and arguably my relationship with my nephew forever. So thanks a lot. There was that moment when Lundstrom nearly scored and he jumped on me and he hugged me, and I thought, this is it. This is the moment we're going to look back on forever. This is the moment we cement our relationship and we're going to be best buddies. I'm going to take him to Anyway, I'm rambling here. City will probably smash Leeds.
Give all that.
All right, on paper, Manchester City should win quite comfortably, and they're established Premier League side who know how to win the Premier League. Leeds United haven't won the Premier League. They did win the top flight just before it became the Premier League, but that's such a long time ago that no one's even thinking about that. The way Leeds have started and adapted to life in the top flight is so exciting. They have no fear. They're just taking the bull by the horns and they're going for it. And as a neutral, and I will say that, I am loving watching the way that Leeds play football. That Bielsa ball, anyone could enjoy it. If it was an alien watching the first game of football, you wouldn't be able to tell, I'm sure, in this game, which one's the established Premiership team and which one's the one that just got promoted, because Leeds will give it everything. It'll be a really tight game. It won't be, and I don't think I see this really in any game this season, Leeds getting steamrolled or hammered by anyone. I do not see it. So I do think Man City will have enough to get past Leeds United, but it certainly won't be an easy game. And Man City, a bit like Liverpool, will probably say afterwards, toughest game of the season.
I love that. I'm going to leave Martin till last, so we're going to have three Leeds fans egging it up so that Martin can come and just smash us all down. But I don't know. I'm really worried about this game. You know, for me, it's how both teams cope in setting up shape once they lose the ball from the press. Do you know what I mean? And how quick we can convert into our defensive shape, how quick, City will. And because I think there's going to be so many opportunities in this game. I said in my pre-match earlier, it could be one of them games where Leeds could be on the end of a hiding. I've caveated that all season, that in certain games we could be on the end of a hiding. But the one thing I'll say is we've been pretty clinical since since the Premier League started. And I put that down to the fact that there's not 11 men in the box like there used to be in the Championship, and we're starting to get the fruits of our labour finally. But, you know, I've said my thoughts on the pre-match. The lads who are watching this will know. So I just want to open it up to the two Leeds fans, Oscar and Danny, and then we'll let Martin come in there after. But Oscar, what are your thoughts on this one, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it and I say, I think the first goal is going to be quite important in this game in a way. I do think the first goal is going to be quite important. I'm sure Martin's going to shoot me down as soon as I say this. But what I've noticed of Man City in the last year or so is, I mean, the football is still incredible. The football, to be fair, under Guardiola is still, you know, it's unbelievable the stuff they play. And in terms of the whole game is going to be absolutely unbelievable to watch. You know, you're seeing the elder ball versus, you know, pet ball in effect, and it's going to be pretty unbelievable from that point of view to watch, and intriguing really, you know, to see what comes out on top. But what I will say about Man City is, though, is when you saw from that Leicester game is they could have been out of sight at 1-1 in that game. For me, it could have been 3-1, 4-1 up before Leicester got that second goal. But it was the reaction after that second goal which gives me a bit of hope, thinking that, you know what, if we score against Man City and they pile loads of players forward and maybe make another attacking substitution, it could open the game up massively if we score first. But if they score first, it can go the other way for me. So, yeah, and the thing with City as well is I've not a clue, absolutely not a clue what they're going to pull out tomorrow in terms of even formation. You know, they went. I mean, I've not a clue what's going. Like, is Ruben Diaz going to play? Is Laporte going to play? You know, is he going to try and play Foden and De Bruyne in the same team? Is Jesus fit? So a lot of different questions you've got to ask. But look, on the day, Man City, there's no tactics in the world you can prepare for Riyad Mahrez sticking one in the top corner, Sterling sticking one in the top corner, De Bruyne, you know, with probably arguably the best delivery in the world, you know, from certain areas. You know, this is what we're facing. You know, we could be. The scary thing is, we could actually dominate the game and get hammered. That's the thing. We could actually dominate the game and get hammered. You know, if Mahrez produces the moment, Sterling produces the moment. So it is quite scary from that point of view. But, you know, what we did against Liverpool, we've got to have a bit of confidence here. I think we'll score. I do think we're going to score in this game. Possibly even two. But yeah, I feel okay. You know, free hit for us, as we've already said. We've already won 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
we're going into the international break. No matter what the result is in this game, in a good, healthy state, aren't we? So yeah, I feel pretty relaxed, you know, mate. To be fair about this one, and excited to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if fans were in at Ellen Road, I'd give us much more of a chance. I still think we can get something from the game, but I just think, you know, City, the millions coming to a packed out Ellen Road for the first time. I don't know. I think the main thing that worries me is when our man-marking system gets round, when someone breaks the press and a KDB gets past a Calvin, they sort of get a free run. And like you've mentioned there, if you've got a Mahrez or a Sterling getting a free run or a Foden on the edge of the box, they can easily pick out that top bins. You know, they don't need you know, extra chances at that. I mean, Danny, what are your thoughts ahead of this one, buddy, from a Leeds perspective? We're going to batter them?
He's coming on with us in about.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big. The battle for me is gonna be, you know, Kevin De Bruyne versus Calvin Phillips. That's the main thing for me. What's you know, how's he gonna handle? I mean, you say that you've got Mahrez on an attack, and then you've got Sterling on the attack, but you've got De Bruyne feeding them. Do you know what I mean? This guy could, you know, land it on a penny. This De Bruyne. But with any other manager, I wouldn't be confident. I'd be getting behind the couch, setting up camp already, ready to watch. But with Bielsa, Bielsa gave me confidence. I mean, look how we played against Liverpool, and I think, but the thing is with City, I think they're kind of like you said, Joe, a wounded animal. Like you saw the team they put out midweek in the cup. It was a very strong team. But to answer your question, I'm hoping for a draw. But I mean, I can only stress what Oscar's just said and what you've just said. know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a bit of a free hit, isn't it? Listen, if we were to get 3 points out of the next 2 at home against Wolves and City, it'd be huge. If we got 4, it'd be fucking amazing. 6, wow, you know. Go on, mate.
We're under no illusion that, you know, we're not going to absolutely steamroll City. You know, we have a laugh saying, no, it's going to be a walk in the park, but
yeah,
you know, City are Premier League champions not long ago, and for a good reason.
Yeah, just how huge is the return of Laporte, Martin? Obviously, midweek he plays, you get a clean sheet. There's no shocks there, is it? It's no surprises there. Just talk to us about City. Who's going to lead the line? Obviously, Aguero and Jesus are out, I believe. And you've got young Rory Delap's son making an appearance. What are your thoughts ahead of the game, mate? Talk to us.
Well, I'm going to take my boots on tomorrow. I might get a game up front. Well, I'm going to say one thing to Oscar straight away. Dominate the game, not a chance. No one's dominated us in 4 years, mate, on possession-wise or anything. So, it could beat us quite easily.
I don't know, mate. I think Liverpool did last season at Anfield.
Hey, goal-wise, look at the stats of the actual game now. Goal-wise, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could beat us quite easily. Beat us. You just said Laporte, whether he starts, I don't know, because he got kicked up and down every hill going on Wednesday night. Thank you, Burnley. First game back, and they targeted him straight out the chute. I'm hoping it's just a knock, but he did go down very heavily, and he didn't look very comfortable by the end of the game. You said we've no Jesus, we've no Aguero. You said about Mahrez. I don't know what Mahrez you lot are watching, because us City fans are not watching the same Mahrez right now. Mahrez is not. You know, I like Mahrez. I'm in the minority with Mahrez. I will be honest. City fans are not his biggest fan.
Martin, do you think, you know, with Mahrez as well, like, the one downside, I guess, is he's not full of running. Do you know what I mean? He's not so good in terms of the press. Is he going to track back when we've got Dallas and Alioski? I know when you mentioned them, it looks like Mahrez. It's a totally different kettle of fish. But I just think, is he? I might be wrong. You might tell me different. But is he someone who's going to run all day and track back?
He'll track back, but he won't put his foot in. If it comes to 50-50, you've won it all day, because he'll just pull out straight away. He has no interest in going in for 50-50s. And the trouble is, what a lot of fans say with Mahrez, he is very one-footed. And his best position is KDB's spot. But no player. I couldn't really tell you a player on earth right now who could go in where KDB is and be better than him right now. KDB is the man. He really is the man. And that's the trouble with Mahrez. That's the trouble with a lot of our players. We've got Bernardo Silva, same problem. His best position is KDB's. Can't get in there. Yeah. So we're never going to see the best of these players, because of, unfortunately, they've got a world-class player stood there going, you ain't taking the spot. And that's where we've got. Now, tomorrow I think he'll go false 9 again.
Yeah.
We would love to see Liam Delap or even Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer really impressed me Wednesday night. He's running off the ball. His ball retention, he didn't give up. He really does try hard. And this kid's dribbling is amazing. It really is amazing. We've seen it over at the CFA for our academy. The lad's got it. But I don't think Pep will give him a chance in the Premier League right now. Diaz is going to be the key. Will Diaz start tomorrow? Or he's only had, I think, 3 training sessions. If we can get Diaz, Laporte, most City fans will probably want Nathan Aki at left back and Kyle Walker at right back. That might be our back 4 sorted for the next 10, 12, 13 games. And then we get another one in the next sort of 3 days. Talking about Tagliafico. Then maybe we're sorted backline-wise. But right now, the thing is with City, I think we'll win. And I'm so happy there's no fans in Ellen Road. Because if there were fans in Ellen Road, that would have been the major issue for me. And I've said it for years now, you don't want to promote your team in the first 4 or 5 weeks. You don't want them. You want to avoid them. Because they're sky high, flying on confidence. You don't want them. You know, like Andy's just put there in the comments, so glad Harrison isn't playing, and that is a great point.
Yeah, it's massive loss.
Massive miss for us with Jack Harrison.
Yeah, huge loss, Danny. You bang on the money, you know. He's been absolutely unreal. I think Fulham did a job on him, but look, we then just got it out to Costa instead. It was an area of the pitch there. I think for me tomorrow, like you say, Harrison's a massive loss. Alioski will cause Walker problems, but it just worries me in terms of his final ball and his decision making. Because I think the key bit for me is when it gets to KP or our centre-backs, they're going to ping it out like we did against Liverpool, you know, isolated Alexander-Arnold. If Mendy plays, for example, we'll look to isolate him. We'll look to isolate Kyle Walker, you know, and I think that's where we'll get joy. Because, like I say, if they play both Rodri and Fernandinho, it's going to be hard to break that down from central areas, isn't it? So I think it'll go out wide and then into the box. I guess we'll wait and see. I'm just excited. It's what we're in it for. We'll quickly come round for the score predictions. I'm going to start us out. I think there'll be over 3.5 and Leeds United to win. I'm going to go for 3-2 in this game. Hal, I know you said. Did you say it was going to be tight? What's your score prediction, mate?
Yeah, I think Manchester City will win by 2-1. And it's interesting hearing you talk about Kyle Walker. And, you know, I love that man. He's such a massive blade. The great thing about Kyle is whenever City aren't playing, he comes to Bramall Lane in the old days when you could watch football. Look it up, kids. And I've met him a few times and I've seen him at games away and at home. And nice. You just don't get enough of that in modern football. So I've got so much time, as all blades have, for Kyle Walker, proper blade. He's a Sheff United fan through and through. He's just taking that City money.
Nice. Danny?
I'm going to go 3-3. I think there'll be loads of goals in it.
Yeah.
Well, like Martin was saying, you don't know what the back four will be in a gelling period. Maybe Laporte won't start, but Guardiola said today that Diaz or Diaz?
Robert Diaz.
Yeah.
Diaz. He said he was confident and he may start. So,
yeah. 3-3, that's a big shout. We'll get your money on that and win some money back off that. Oscar?
It's a hard one, mate, because I look at Diaz and Laporte and I think, I tell you what, that is potentially a really, really good centre-back pairing. But I think we're playing City at a good time here. So I think no matter what, after the international break, City are going to push Liverpool this season. I think when you've got a centre-back pairing like that, potentially Tagliafico coming in as well, I'll go 2-2 on this. I think we are playing him at a good time. As long as we score first, I think we'll be okay in the game. I don't think it'll run away from us. But if we did concede first, I would be a bit worried that we'd have to push out and then all of a sudden leave Kevin De Bruyne with acres of space, because that is when you are in big trouble. That's when City score first, they do tend to win like 5 or 6-0 from what I've seen so far. So, you know, don't concede first if we can. So I'll go 2-2.
Okay.
Teacher versus student.
Yeah, it's going to be some story in it. I can't wait. Pep's had lovely words to say about Bielsa today in his press conference. Martin, what's your score prediction, fella?
Just to Oscar, we scored first last week, mate, and got.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Don't go down that road. You want my score prediction? 18-17. The way these kids are in at the minute.
I was being nice then, Martin, when I said when you scored first. You know, you see, I was trying to be nice after the Liverpool jab.
I'm going to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if this walks out 0-0 after all the hype we've all been giving it, and everyone thinks they could just cancel each other out tomorrow. You know, we could just simply walk out there and go, because no one's going to sit back. No one's going to play defensive.
No.
You know, this is just going to be. This could be a very big 0-0 spectacular game, and I think if anyone's going to win it, it's going to be 1-0 or 2-1. It's going to be a nick. No one's going to run away with it tomorrow, in my opinion. Now, I might be wrong. I don't know, but because Oscar's right, the trouble is with City at the minute, you don't know which City's coming.
Yeah,
you know, we could easily turn up tomorrow and put 6 past you. We could easily turn up tomorrow and have 4 put past us. You don't know which City are going to turn up, especially at the moment because unfortunately there's a lot of quality, and they just need to gel at the moment, and that's what we need.
I want to get your thoughts just quickly before we move on Pep as well. I did a bit of an opposition pre-match, and obviously he hasn't got long left on his deal. There's a lot being made about, you know, he doesn't look the same as previous seasons. I know we've only played 3 games, but losing to Leicester, I'd read, I don't know if it's right, I think it is. It's the first time his side had conceded 5 goals in his 686 games that he's been a manager. So, you know, has the shine gone off from a City fan perspective? Is he still lauded? Do you think he's here to stay because he's still not signed that long-term deal? What are your thoughts on Pep at the minute, mine?
Name me another manager who could do what he's doing right now.
Poch?
Yeah, but you won't win. What's he won?
No, I'm just saying, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I agree. I like Poch. I want Poch at City, as you're quite right, Joe. I want Poch at City as Pep's replacement, but I want Pep to stay for another 2-3 years. It's interesting how Poch hasn't took a job yet.
Definitely.
A thing that does make me wonder. You know,
I think he's waiting for Leeds.
There's a lot on our channel. You know, I just talked about Brendan Rodgers because I think he plays, but Pep, we want him to stay. There is becoming a little bit of a small minority of the fan base are getting a little bit what's going on, especially after Leon. I think because the season sort of ended and started again, there's a lot of hurt still going on from the Leon game. We've not had this 7-8 week break where we normally just recharge, rethink, and we go again. You know, I think Leon was 5 weeks ago, and we're already playing this year. So I think that's the problem. And I've always said, I think any manager who's got 7-8 months left in his contract and hasn't signed one yet, of course it's an issue.
Yeah.
Of course it is, because you've got no certainty anywhere.
No, you bang on.
I think he'll sign 2 more years in the end.
Good. I hope so, because like I say, I really like Pep. We've also had this coming from your man Andy as well about don't let those Leeds fans tell you it's a bread cake, cob or scuffer. Now, to be fair, as a Yorkshireman myself on the west side of Yorkshire, I always thought it was a tea cake.
Of course
I call it a tea cake, right? Because I used to get stick for this, and then if it's got currants in, I call it a currant tea cake, and people are like, "Well, no, that's a tea cake." You know what I mean?
No, you bang on there, mate. It's a tea cake.
Bang on.
It's a currant tea cake. Yeah.
What about you, Hal? Tea cake, right?
It's a tea cake, of course it is. I didn't even know that it was up for debate.
I'm not saying anything because I'm totally outnumbered here, aren't I? Quite. But all you need to know is that tea cakes to us have fruit in them.
Yeah.
Tea cake, and it's like supermarkets. So, listen, I think I'll go with the big supermarkets and what they say.
They're all wrong.
Yeah.
How do people like imagine footballers coming over to a different country to learn the language, and we in 2 counties can't even agree with each other?
It's bang on.
Don't get started on
English.
Yeah. Well, it seems like everyone speaks English.
Yeah.
Don't get started on the breakfast, dinner, tea.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's move on. We've got Arsenal Blades up next. I'm going to give Al a bit of stick here. Second season syndrome. Nah, listen, I don't go along with it at all. I think Sheff United will be totally fine under Chris Wilder. I like Sheff United. I like what they do, but up against a tough away at Arsenal. What your thoughts, Hal? Talk to me. Can you get a result at the Emirates?
Yeah, I mean, even a defeat, I suppose, is technically a result. We got a result there last season. We drew 1-1 and we could have beaten them. We beat them at Bramall Lane. We played well. I'm sure even Martin will remember. We played well against all the top sides. Yeah, we played much better against City at City. We didn't play particularly well at Bramall Lane. But Arsenal, we really took it to Arsenal last season. If we play anything like we did at their place last time around, we are a better side on paper this season than we were last season. So there's no reason why we can't go and nick something there. Maybe 1-0. We don't tend to score goals. We agree with Martin that the game should be won on statistics, and that's the real quiz. We like to just have a lot of corners and commit a lot of fouls. That's the way that we've
do that. Yeah,
that's the way that we've started the season.
I heard something earlier. I listened to a podcast that Leeds fans will know. All Stats, aren't we? And they had a Man City fan on, and they were saying, like, this is the thing. What frustrates me with statistics. He said, "Oh, you were quite unlucky last season from a statistical point of view," and I was like, they were fucking 30 points behind at one point. Do you know what I mean? That's what blows my mind with statistics. It can only take you so far. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, you talk about goals. Ryan Brewster's just come in the door. How excited are you with that signing, mate?
Very. It's been on the cards for months. He won't play against Arsenal. It's just not registered in time, happened too late. So you wonder who's going to get those goals. But actually, we've got a lot of strikers. We've got like 7 strikers. It's just that none of them can score more than 6 goals. And that's a problem when you're trying to win games of football. So,
sorry, can we borrow a couple? We ain't got any, mate.
Yeah, we'll do a little swap deal. Do you want take John Lundstrom if you like, and we'll have Bernardo Silva if you've got no room for him, because Kevin De Bruyne is playing in his position. The kind of problems I was listening to you have, my God. If we do our very best, turn up and play the very best Blades way, which I said against Leeds as well. And actually, in fairness, we did play quite well in patches against Leeds. Still not the same at all. We haven't reached the heights of last season. I don't really know what's going on. And the longer the season goes on, we'll start to get worried.
Yeah, I mean, who's Oscar? There's someone that's really loud. I don't know. There's an echo there. Is that all right? Yeah, cool. We're all right. It's me. Right. Okay. I always have technical issues. It is what it is. It's part of the par now. But do you know, you're right, mate. I thought, listen, I mean, if it weren't for Ilian Meslier in goal last week, you probably get a result. And, you mentioned your strikers, but I think Brewster gives just something that different. I remember at Swansea, he came in January and went flying out of the blocks. He scored an absolute worldie at one point. I forget which game it was in. It from about 30 yards, just smashed it straight in the top bins. Unreal signing for me.
His XG last season suggested he should have scored 8 goals when he got 11. So he sort of outscored himself. He took chances that weren't there. He scored goals where there was tight spaces. He scored all kinds of goals as well. But the reason I'm not getting overexcited is if you look at the highlights reel on YouTube of Ollie McBurney at Swansea, you'll see exactly the same thing. Yeah,
true. I suppose I guess we'll wait and see, but I think it's a great signing, one that'd excite me anyway. Danny, what do you make Sheff United Arsenal? Arsenal have started really well. Do you give Sheff United a chance away at the Emirates?
I like Chris Wilder. I think what he's done at Sheffield is amazing. I like the way he plays, overlapping centre backs, all that kind of stuff. I thought Sheffield played really well against the team, like Al said, in patches. And I don't know how Lundstrom didn't score, but Lishat in the net pulled off 2 good saves. Meslier there, but I think this is a game where Sheffield turn it round. I think that Wilder's gathered his troops, he's given them the speech, and they're going over the hill tomorrow. And I think they'll just come out swinging.
Going over Phil.
Going over the Phil. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I think with Ryan Brewster as well. I mean, Joe mentioned there in there at Swansea. I thought he was brilliant at Swansea. It was the move that he needed, and now it's given him that confidence to move on to Sheffield United. And once again, Chris Wilder, the great coach that he is, I think he'll nurture him. And then you've got personalities like McBurney and McGoldrick, experienced strikers. Could just nurture him that way. And I just think he's a great up and comer and a great signing, to be fair.
Yeah, massive. And Egan being back's a huge plus, right, Hal?
Yeah, I liked everything Danny said, apart from him calling us Sheffield, which I can't get over. Nor shall I look past. Egan coming back is absolutely massive news, and that will make a huge difference. But Jack O'Connell's out for the whole season. If you're out to ask any Sheffield United fan, our most crucial player, 9 out of 10 will say Jack O'Connell. So that's the biggest devastating news which we got just before the Leeds game, and it was a right Debbie Downer.
Yeah, it was a big loss, wasn't it? A huge loss. Ampadu, I thought, played well, though, to be fair to him. We spoke before, and I thought Jags might have been used instead, but I thought Ampadu played pretty well. Oscar, I'll come to you. Just what are your thoughts on Arsenal, mate? I know you're a big fan of Arteta. Do you see Arsenal running away with this one, or how do you see it going?
To be honest with you, I don't think anyone's going to properly hammer Sheffield United this season. I think Chris Wilder is just one of the best in terms of off-the-ball coaches. I mean, in terms of how organised he gets that Sheffield United team to defend, in their shape and that lot. And I just think it's so hard to create chances against Sheffield United. I mean, as much as I thought we played well on Sunday, we still only created probably, the goal we scored from, and obviously Dallas having that when he went around the keeper. We didn't really create that many proper chances against them. And I think Arsenal might find the same problems, but I still think Arsenal will win the game. What I will say is, I think Brewster, obviously being from up near Liverpool, I know I've heard a lot about Brewster ever since he's been a kid, and my words, he's a talent. And I think Sheffield United there, I'll go as far to say, have bought Premier League survival for another season at the very least. I just think the guy is going to unbelievable talent, and considering. I think the big thing as well is he's working with someone like Jurgen Klopp. I just think his fitness levels are going to be absolutely tip-top. We've already seen it at Swansea. He just walked straight into that team and changed Swansea's season. He made Swansea from being a mid-table team that were going nowhere, and he got them suddenly into the playoffs. And to be fair, he almost carried them through against Brentford. Very nearly carried them through against Brentford. Then his defence just completely bottles it on him at Griffin Park. So I look at Brewster and think, wow, what a signing that is. I do think he's different class to the other strikers, but I think him and McBurney, solid partnership. But to go on to Arsenal, I think Arsenal, they just seem to be getting better and better for me. I think they're winning all different types of games. That win against Liverpool, the fact is, went to Anfield on Monday, and for probably the second half, they did get outplayed a little bit in the second half, but they gave it a really good go. And then to go there again 3 days later, and just completely shut out Liverpool. That shows Arteta's quality. He's seen that game on Monday, and he's just adapted to it 3 days later. He still had to play against Salah. Jota played in that game. Origi played in that game. A lot of attacking talent in that game. He just completely shut Liverpool down. And then, obviously, look, they won in a penalty shootout. But Arsenal are seriously going places for me. But I think Sheffield United won't make this easy at all. I think this might be one where it's 0-0 up until kind of like 20 minutes to go. And maybe, look, Aubameyang gets a chance, Lacazette gets a chance, it's going to go in the back of the net. But I think Sheffield United will give it a really good go. But, I still think Arsenal probably just too much in this one.
Yeah, I think I really rate Arteta. I look at him in that same bracket as Lampard, Ollie, etc., and I just think he's a cut above them too, just for the youth of them, I guess, in terms of management. And Martin, I'll just come to you, obviously. You'll be up there fighting for the title, maybe. I think maybe Liverpool run away with it. But do you see Arsenal sitting comfortably in the top 4?
No, I had him in top 6. I'm just looking at the comments because I think Hal's really upset the Mancunians here in the comments, Oh, they're all going off at each other in here. No, see, Arteta's learned from the best, hasn't he? I think when you sit under Pep for 3 years, you're going to learn something. I did say on our channel, I thought Arteta took a huge risk going to Arsenal. Never managing before. It's not. I thought he would not get on there, but he seems to have now bedded in. He's getting his ideas across, and he's winning games, frankly, that Arsenal wouldn't have won for the last 2 or 3 years. That's the key point to this. He's grinding out results now. He's getting results that Arsenal would not have got at all. Last year before, Liverpool had steamrolled Arsenal, especially like you said, that second half. But, Arsenal got a bit of grit for the first time in a while. and he's doing a really, really good job. You know, I'm not going to go over the top like some City fans wanting Pep's replacement. No, not yet. Maybe in a few years, but not yet. But he's a really good manager. I'm really impressed with Wilder at Sheffield United, at the Blades. Really am. I think Brewster's a great signing for them. They get first team football every week, which will help him, help his career. He'll only get better with it. I'm gutted Henderson's left because I think, apart from, Henderson, because I thought Henderson was the best goalie in the Premier League last year, hands down. If you remember this, at Bramall Lane, he kept them in the game against us. He pulled off, save, he was amazing. And I'm sat there going, how's De Gea ahead of him at United? I didn't understand it. I think he's a huge loss. But one thing Sheffield United are good at is being disruptive, being awkward. And sometimes that's what you've got to do when you go to these top or so-called top clubs. You've got to go there and be disruptive for a while. And then when the time's right, you play your game. You break and you go. Because they will get chances. They will get chances. It might just be a case of by the time for 50, 60 minutes, and then you go. Because that's what happened. We do it all the time. We have loads of chances. We get frustrated. We go up the other end and we're 1-0 down. And then your game plan's out the window.
Yeah.
So, saying that though, I do think it'll be a draw by the end of it. But I think it'll be a very intriguing game between Arteta and Wilder. Because one thing Arteta will do, he will respect Wilder when he's there.
Yeah, massively. I mean, so you're going for a draw. Give us a scoreline, mate.
1 each.
1 each. Nice. Oscar?
Go 2-0. I think it'll take Arsenal a while to break through. But they'll score. 20 minutes to go. Sheffield United will push you up and they might catch him for a second. But it'll be a really good game. 2-0 Arsenal.
Danny?
I'm going to go 1-0 Sheffield because I think it'll
Sheffield United.
Sheffield United.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Danny.
I was fuming with you, man.
I can't stand it.
But
Just a quick one, Hal. Just a quick one, mate. Has Wilder ever gone this length of games without any points before?
Yeah, his very first season in charge of Sheffield United, we went 4 games. So this could be key.
I think this game. How can the Blades score at the minute? I don't know. I'm going to go.
Brian Brewster.
Maybe
he's not playing in this one.
No, he's not going to be. There you go.
Next week.
So yeah, 2-0 Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal. Go on, Hal.
Well, I've got to say, I agree with everything Martin said. His entire summary of how we can win this game and how we've been playing spot on. So he clearly knows his football, and I respect that. And also some of what he said, I'd like to pin that on the wall because I think it would get our boys going as well. It sounded brilliant. So thanks for that. And I'd snap your hand off for a draw right now. I will also say a draw. I can't see a scoring, so 0-0.
It's nice.
I'm more confident with Sheffield United fan.
Yeah, but I've had to watch us this season.
We move out. I mean, we were going to do Wolves Fulham, but I think we'll leave that one for now. I think it was more just to have a little bashment at Fulham and the fact that they're probably going to go down with
Going down.
than when Derby did. I mean, they brought in Lookman, and I'm like, why are you bringing it? Just get some centre backs through the door. But yeah,
Daniel, tell you, I had him going down on the I had him going down.
Yeah, not great at all, is it? And
can I just, Joe? Sorry to interrupt. I've noticed in the comments a few people mentioning that the Sheffield thing and like why does that bother me? All right, so just to explain it, the reason we all love football is because of Sheffield. Sheffield invented the game, and the very first team is Sheffield FC. Not Notts County, as lots of people say. So Sheffield FC are Sheffield. So when you say Sheffield, that's who you're talking about. And I believe because they created the game, they deserve tremendous amount of respect. And so we, as Sheffield United, we're the late Johnny come lately. We can't claim to be called Sheffield. We have to give our full name. And of course, there's Sheffield United Reserves, Sheffield FC, Chesterfield. I can't remember, but anyway, you get what I mean. So that's why just to
Barcelona, Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, all these little dragons,
and it all stems from Sheffield.
Well, I never actually knew that, so thank you for educating me this evening.
Can I just say
every day's a school day.
United. They've got United after them, so that's
Well, but Martin, here's another reason it might make it easier to soften the blow. Sheffield United were Sheffield United, while Manchester United were Newton Heath. Sheffield United were the first ever United, and because it was uniting the cricket club with the football club.
Wow, you should set up a new series, Hal's question time or something like that. Love that.
Hal's 3.
Hal's 3.
That's good.
I should have just passed that straight to Danny.
He's going to copyright that now. He's getting trademarks and all sorts.
So we'll leave Wolves Fulham. Let's talk about that team across the Pennines, the team across the road, or whatever for Martin. Man United, Spurs. Look, I've been that first weekend. Spurs for me didn't look great against Everton. It's mad how quick things can change. Obviously, the signing of Reguilon and Bale coming in, and then they go and put 5 past Southampton. They should have got a result against Newcastle. You know, Newcastle robbed one at the end with that crazy handball from Dyer. But I've been really impressed with Spurs and Mourinho. And hopefully, you know, they can further give Ollie some food for thought. I mean, we'll come to Hal first of all, because I guess we're the rest of us are going to say Spurs all day. But Hal, what are your thoughts on Man United, Tottenham?
Newton Heath.
On Newton Heath. Yeah, it's a fascinating encounter. And for a neutral, this is the one everyone will want to watch on TV until we can't watch all the games on TV anymore, because I believe I read that today that not all of them are going to be televised, which is just...
Are they not going to change it though, now that we can't go
Well,
in?
I hope so. I mean, if you can't go to the ground, you've got to show them, but that's obviously a bigger debate for another day. But I can actually see Spurs causing a bit of an upset here, if you'd even consider it an upset, just because I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right man for Manchester United, and I can't see him in 10 years' time still being there 5 years' time. You think, Martin's very pleased with how he's doing. But, you know, I just wonder that someone else in that position, a manager who's dealt with those kind of players before, I really think on paper Manchester United have a wonderful squad and should be doing better. So, with a better manager in the other dugout, Jose Mourinho, I think Tottenham in this one, for me, are bizarrely the favourites, even though they're away from home. But with no fans in attendance, does it even make any difference anymore?
No, you're right, mate. But I go along with that. You know, at least going forward, Man United on paper are brilliant. You know, they've got some young, exciting, top quality talent: Rashford, Greenwood, etc. Martial, you know, in the midfield, Pogba, etc. You know, Bruno Fernandes. But just Ollie's just inept. Do you know what I mean? I was surprised he even got the job. It's so funny seeing these memes of Rio and Gary Neville doing the rounds when they're going, just sign the deal, tell them how much money you want and all that. It just makes me laugh because now they just look daft. But I even think I want to get your thoughts on. I'll come to you, Danny. Actually, you know, there's all this talk of Sancho, right? Get Sancho in. It still doesn't fix nothing for me at Man United because their issues are in defence. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to struggle to get a tune out of them anyway. So what are your thoughts on this Sancho being the saviour? Even if he comes in, does it change anything for Man United?
First of all, why did Rio sound Irish? That's what I want to know.
Really? Sorry.
No, I mean I don't think it's, you know, we need Sancho, let's just go spend 90 million. But Borussia Dortmund, you know, they're buying they're just trying to square pegs round holes. Do you know what I mean? For me, if you need Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm sure he's a nice person, but it looks like he should be teaching GCSE science. Other than, you know, he's like a PE teacher to me. I respect him as a player. I thought he was a great super sub. I thought I really did, but I don't. Like you just said,
Cardiff, didn't he? He failed at Cardiff.
Big time.
He got relegated, didn't he?
You know what I mean? So
going down bad. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like you say, going on that team on paper should be doing well, but instead there's just no synergy. Like Pogba against Palace, he looked like he couldn't be asked. He looked like he had rocks in his shorts. He just couldn't be bothered moving. Bruno Fernandes is, it's probably lifted him a lot. With that bunny hop, the fans love the bunny hop, don't they? And the little dink into the left-hand corner. But for me, I'm not convinced by Ole as a manager. I think he's on borrowed time, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely garbage. Oscar?
Yeah, I can only echo what you guys are saying about Solskjaer. I mean, my word, how bad have they been first 2 games? I mean, they should be on no points, shouldn't they? I think they thoroughly deserve to lose that Palace game. They were as bad against Brighton, if not worse. Just look at this Tottenham team. And I think as long as Mourinho doesn't try and park the bus or go too uber defensive, which I don't think he will, to be fair. I don't think he can anyway, because Spurs are shocking at the back. But I just think it's 2 teams. I just look at Spurs, Kane and Son. Son running at Harry Maguire. Kane finding space in behind Lindelof. I just see that as just being too much for him. I think Tottenham. I just can't see Man United winning it. The very worst is going to be a draw for me. The only thing that makes me doubt Tottenham a little bit is the fact they played yesterday. They might be a little bit tired and they might be quite a strong team. So that might factor into it a little bit. But still look at Man United in a minute. They're absolutely shocking at the minute. And Sancho, I think, would have helped quite a bit, to be fair, in terms of going forward. I think he would have given that bit of variety, in terms of a proper winger, who could get to the byline, put balls into the box. But they've got massive, massive problems defensively. I mean, the fact they're still trying to play Paul Pogba in defensive midfield alongside. They're still trying it after 3 years of proving that he's got absolutely no intelligence off the ball at all. He needs to be given as much of a free role as humanly possible to be effective. He can't play as a holding midfielder in a game like that. There's Celso, Ndombele, Ali, whoever's playing behind him is just going to find so much space because Pogba is only focused on what's happening in front of him. He's got no interest in what's happening behind him. And look, I do think he's an insanely talented player, to be fair. I have to admit it. He's a really talented player, but they've got big problems in that kind of game for me. And I think Son against Maguire is just going to be so funny, to be honest. It's going to be so funny.
Did he get top 4, Oscar? Did he get top 4?
Man United?
United?
Nah, not for me. I think on the basis of what I've seen so far, I think Tottenham are more likely. I think they played really well against Newcastle. Again, it could not be much more unlucky to have not picked up 3 points against Newcastle. And look, you've got Kane and Son. And you've got the basis of 2 world-class players there going forward. And obviously Bale's come in as well. I think Tottenham for me ahead of Man United, or maybe even Chelsea. I just don't see Man United at the minute as being a top 4 club. But yeah, I'm confident. Yeah,
Sam, just before we come to Martin, I'm going to ask Hal, because he seems to be the intellect of the group that we've got on this evening. I don't even know what that means. Can you explain it to me?
Yeah, cerebral.
I'm telling you, I don't. I was like, what does that word mean? Go on.
Cerebral is your brain, absolutely. So he's implying that Ingrid Nick would bring some probably more levity, certainly, to proceedings, and perhaps use big words in that.
Ah, right, okay. So we're thick. Is that what it is?
Well, I don't know, because I feel as though I am Ingrid Nick's representative on Earth. So everything that I say, Ingrid Nick is absolutely validating in the background.
Okay, cool. Still over me head. Martin, come on, talk to us, mate. What do you think to that team, Man United? What are they going to do this season, if anything? And Spurs going to batter them on Sunday, I think it is.
No, I think if you want to sleep tomorrow, watch that game. The teams going on it. United will win, unfortunately, because you watch the Man United play tomorrow. It's Jose going back. They'll be so up for it tomorrow. In Rio or whatever it is. They are going to be so up for it. Bruno Fernandes, the only thing he's good at is diving. Should be an Olympic swimmer because that's the only thing he's good at.
Martin,
go on.
Do you think I look like him?
Throw yourself on the floor because we don't generally see Bruno stood up. He's not really flat backside on the floor, so we don't
just
generally
do a quick bunny up for us.
I'll show you my backside off camera.
Good job, I'm going in a minute then, innit?
Yeah.
I've got my card ready.
I hope Ole Gunnar Solskjaer stays there for 10 years. I really do. And obviously, we're loving it. We are loving it because we are getting 20 years of revenge right now. We have had it shoved in our face day after day. I know you hate them, but you'd have to live with them and look at them and be around them 24.
Well, I don't know though, Martin, because I'm from in Manchester anyway.
Well, then again, Joe, you're not in London or Norway or somewhere else. You know, you look at Leeds, it's a little bit close to Manchester, that for Man United fans. You know, they are generally down in Houston or London or wherever, or Mars, the Moon, Pluto. You know, I often couldn't find Old Trafford on a map with a big picture in front of them. But I do think United will win. Simply the fact is it's Jose, and you watch the players tomorrow. They're going to have a different attitude. They're going to go out. They hate him, and they're going to win. But you know, I had Man United down as top 4 because of the way they finished the way they finished 5 weeks ago. I didn't see this coming. I hope they buy Sancho because it's 20 million, 25 million in our coffers if they buy him.
All right, okay.
He's not going to solve the answer.
No.
It's square pegs in round holes. I think it was Danny who said that. It's square pegs in round holes with Ole, you know. And you look at Man United, all City do is they go after a player that they don't really want, and Man United jump in and pay 3 times over the odds. So, you know, that's all United do. They buy the players we want.
Yeah, mate. I tell you, it happened with us, Martin. We wanted Dan James. We didn't get it. They wanted him. We went in for JKA, and they tried to get JKA from us just before we managed to. I mean, we all know how JKA worked out in the end anyway, but Man United tried to come in late on, and it was a bit like, what are you doing? Do you not do your own scouting, man? Anyway, that's Man United. I'm conscious of time. I know Martin will be doing something a little bit later on Man City Fan TV with Danny, so if you're watching this, 18 minutes, make sure you head over. I was going to touch on Villa-Liverpool, but I think Liverpool will win that game, and I think Liverpool are going to win the league, if I'm honest. Just before we do you give you as much chance then in terms of the league title, Martin? I know we're only 3 games in, but I think that it might already be done.
I've really gone up and down with this. I've said yes, I've said no. I've even said we'll finish 4th. One thing I'm not a City fan who's in it for trophies. I'm not bothered whether we win it or we don't win it. I was one of the fans who was down there in the depths of hell, as it was. Loved it, but it wasn't, you know.
We all share in that, man. We've all been there, man. We've all been there.
But do I think we can win it? I think Liverpool are not as good. I think no fans is an issue now for Liverpool, especially at Anfield. They've lost their edge there at Anfield. They can be beaten there. So I don't think there'll be fans in all season now, unfortunately. But I've said yes, I've said no, and I've said yes, and I've said no. I'm going to reserve judgment till December in about a month. And then I can't decide because it's too early, and I don't know what happens until Monday night.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, window guys. Do any of you see anyone other than Liverpool? Hal?
Not really. Not realistically. No, not this season. I do think next season, depending on how they go, it might be one of those ones where Arsenal finish really strong, and then you start talking about them as serious contenders. It's a very funny comment as well from Bielsa in the chat that says if Ollie and Frank stay till the end of the season, then top 6 is a possibility for Leeds.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Really conscious of time. We'll move on. This is my favourite segment. It's time for all smart art we. So Danny's gonna take over here. You've got a minute to answer a number of football general knowledge questions, and yeah, we'll take it away.
Now it's time for All Smart Aren't We, presented by Danny.
I hope you like that tune. Go on, Danny, take it away.
We'll go with Hal first, sir. Would you like the home questions or the away questions?
Away.
Away. Oh. Hold on, let me just find them. I seem to have lost them.
Oh, mate, what are you doing? I've played the tune and that. You should be ready.
I know. I'm sorry.
Massive shout out to Ian Barron, Darlington fan. I used to live in Catterick and I used to watch Darlington home and away.
Nice.
Here we go. Right, are we ready, Joe?
Yeah, whenever you start talking, mate, I'll press the start.
Which Polish goalkeeper joined Arsenal from Liga Warsaw in 2006?
Wojciech Szczesny.
Correct. Local entrepreneur Jack Walker helped which club win the Premier League title in 94-95?
Blackburn Rovers.
Correct. The Potteries Derby is played between Stoke City and which other English club?
Port Vale.
Correct. Ida Gudjohnsen began his English football career with which club?
Bolton.
Correct. Goals from Freddie Ljungberg and which other midfield helped Arsenal beat Chelsea 2-0 in the 2002 FA Cup final?
Ray Parlour.
Correct.
Wow.
Which Dutch manager replaced Glenn Hoddle as player manager of Chelsea in '96?
Ruud Gullit.
Correct. Which Scottish football manager began his management career with Glasgow Rangers in 1986 before leaving to manage Liverpool?
This is the last question as well, mate. If you get this, you've took the lead.
Bill Shankly.
Incorrect. In 2007, 2008.
We've done, Dan. We've done, mate. Yeah, sorry. Six, man. Joint leaders, I believe.
What was the answer then to that one?
Graham Souness.
Oh,
nightmare.
Bugger.
Right, Martin.
Smashed it there, though.
You ready? Are you ready, buddy?
Yeah.
Right, Joe. Which Liverpool striker scored twice to help the Anfield club overcome a 3-0 Champions League deficit against Barcelona in 2019?
Oh. I was going to say Milan Baros, but it's gone out my head.
You can pass if you want.
Yeah, pass.
Which Czech club found themselves out of match in their Champions League group draw, being paired with Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Borussia Dortmund?
Pass.
Goalkeeper Arrizabalaga embarrassed which then Chelsea manager when he refused to be replaced?
Oh, my mind's gone blank and I know him because it was against us. Can't remember his name. Guy at Napoli. He's now at what's he called?
You can pass if you want.
Pass, because my mind's gone out the blank here.
Which Man City player defender sealed hit? I'll start because I'll finish. Which Man City defender sealed his legendary status with a 25-yard thunderbolt versus Leicester City to lift the City trophy? Correct.
Well, you save yourself there, Martin, with that last question. We've never had no one with zero.
I didn't even know you were doing a quiz. Do me a favour.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah. No one's prepared.
Well, here's the answer. Sorry was in there, wasn't it? Sorry. What were the answers, Dan?
Sorry.
What was the answers? 2019. You were thinking of the AC Milan one, Martin. I think you said Barros.
Divock Origi.
Sounds cool.
And the manager you couldn't think of was Sarri.
Yep. Cool. Thank you. So we'll just thank you so much for our guests. It's been an absolute blast tonight. Hal, where can we find you, mate?
Go to @Sheff United Way on Twitter, and I'll be there answering quiz questions all day and all night.
Nice. Guys, I have put their links in the description as well, so make sure you check it out. Both Hal and Ingudniks put out some really good content, and it's nice to see another Yorkshire club in the Premier League. So, well, we joined them, but you get what I'm saying. Support them. And Martin, where can we find you, mate?
Man City Fan TV.
Cool. And you've got a stream coming up after this, right?
We are live in 12 minutes, and Danny's coming on.
Yeah, cool. So if you're watching this, guys, the people in the chat, make sure you head over there. I'll be rocking up on the LFC Day Trippers at 10 o'clock as well. So if you've done with Martin and Danny, then come see me over there as well, man. And both links to both their channels are in the description. Thank you for watching, always, as per. Danny, Oscar, do you want to say up before we go?
Just to
Leeds,
say as
Leeds.
well, guys, we're going to test something out as well tomorrow. We're going to do a live stream just previewing the game as well about midday-ish. We're going to do it. And, of course, don't forget the big old watch-along. Me and Joseph will be doing the watch-along and plenty of content out as well tomorrow.
Cool. When we smash City.
Can I ask Danny a question?
Go on, quick.
Please, so I can send it to you.
What's that? Sorry, I missed that.
Can you send me the link so I can get you on? I haven't got it. Unless you've already sent it, man.